The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority of the Gambia paid a courtesy visit to the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation to benchmark media technology and regulatory practices in Uganda. The delegation was briefed on UBC's strategic operations, which include 11 radio stations and 4 television stations nationwide.
We broadcast in 29 dialects. So to be able to manage communication across the country and reach our entities, we thought that was a fairly good way to go about it.
As part of the ongoing multi-sectoral reforms, PURA is benchmarking Uganda's legislative framework for broadcasting,
including online regulation, licensing, compliance, how do we enforce compliance, and so many other things.
Our legislative framework is very much similar. And also, if you actually look at the UCC Act and the PURA Act, you realize that there are a lot of similarities. So it's one thing to study a country, but it's important to study a country where you can have a seamless benchmarking and adoption of those laws. Of course, we have to contextualize it to our local content.
Online regulation is another key aspect considered during the benchmarking exercise. From the Uganda Communications Commission perspective, the standards applied to traditional media are equally applicable to online platforms.
Content is content, whether on traditional platforms, whether on online, it is content, and it must conform to standards. Nevertheless, we are going to specifically design standards just to touch on that. But we are not mourning that we are helpless, not at all.
PURA has identified key areas from the Ugandan model to support the development of their own broadcast legal framework.
So from Uganda, we really did learn a lot, especially with regards to their quota system. Especially when we were speaking this morning, one of the guys mentioned the thing with journalism and ethics. So even where there are interference, what really insulates you truly from political interference is really the ethics of the profession.
So yes, objectivity is key, but it must speak to your values as a journalist. Otherwise, if you don't have those values to guide you, then somehow you'll lose the essence of objectivity.
Meanwhile, Signet Uganda will roll out the direct-to-home DTH broadcasting in June 2025. This satellite-based solution will enable nationwide television coverage under the free-to-air license.
So when we do launch DTH, we'll claim we can actually have then 100% coverage for television signal across the country, which is a first for us. Even during the analog days, we were unable to achieve 100%.
While funding remains a major challenge for UBC operations, it was observed that increased government support could enhance objectivity and independence in broadcasting.
If you don't have adequate funding, you are challenged with retaining the most competent staff, you are challenging with getting the most recent technology and all of that. So it's important for the national broadcaster, just like any other business, to be adequately funded to be able to meet the targets of its mandate.
The delegation also received a guided tour of UBC's radio and television studios. Tony Kate Chaze, Ivan Kahwa, UBC.